northwestern China, paleontologists found a scatter of shattered little bones. Bird bones broken and clustered together as if something had eaten there, and lying in the same stone was the only thing at the site large enough to be the killer, a dinosaur with 4 wings. They named it Jian after a one-winged bird from Chinese myth, Jian changmaensis. It lived about 120 million years ago in the Early Cretaceous, and it belonged to a strange group of feathered dinosaurs called Microraptorines. Small, sharp-toothed, and covered in feathers, they were built less like monsters and more like hawks. But the odd thing about Jian was not what it was where it turned up. Every other Microraptor we know comes from one place, the fossil beds of northeastern China. Jian was found roughly 2,000 kilometers to the west, in Gansu province. It is the first of its kind ever confirmed that far out, and it quietly redrew the map of where these animals lived. Then there are the wings, not 2, 4. Like its cousins, Jian carried long feathers not only on its arms, but on its legs as well. A small predator with a full set of flight feathers on all 4 limbs. If you saw one glide overhead, you might not call it a dinosaur at all. You would call it a bird. Except it almost certainly could not fly. Not the way a sparrow flies, flapping and climbing under its own power. The build points to gliding, launching from a height and sailing between the trees, more like a flying squirrel than a falcon. And yet gliding was apparently enough, because of what was found lying right beside it. Those broken bird bones. At the same site, in the same rock, sat clusters of shattered bird skeletons, and Jian was the only predator there big enough to be responsible. The picture that emerges is an uneasy one, a creature that could not truly fly, hunting animals that could. It is worth being careful here. The bones beside Jian are strong evidence, not a signed confession. Researchers say this Microraptor was very likely feeding on birds, and the anatomy says it glided rather than flew. What is certain is the fossil itself. A new species, a new location, and a mouth full of teeth built for catching prey. And here is the part that lingers. Microraptorines like Jian were not the ancestors of modern birds. They were a separate experiment. Nature tried flight more than once, on more than one branch of the family tree. The 4-winged gliders were one of those attempts. They spread, they hunted, and then they vanished, leaving no descendants at all. Which leaves the real puzzle. How did a glider, launching from the trees, bring down birds that could climb into open air? And if flight was invented several times over, how much of the story that leads to every bird alive today are we still missing, waiting in the rock? Jian changmaensis, 4 wings, 120 million years old, and 2,000 kilometers from home. A glider that hunted the flyers.